Hello, welcome to Podcassidy. I have Michael. I already forgot how to pronounce it. You just told
Michael
me
A.
yesterday.
It's on the screen.
Michael
it's right there.
A. Michael A. We'll go with Michael A. It's not Abramowsky because it's not
close.
like abracadabra.
Like with a long A, Abramowsky. It sounds better if you say
Abramowsky.
it in its original Russian, Avramovsky. It sounds much more like, oh, that makes sense. It's the anglicized version of it. That Abramovsky.
Yeah.
Moscow.
Absolutely.
Generations back. Muscovites.
Okay. I see it. So you were just telling me right before this that your son had called you. He's at sleepaway camp for the first time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was preparing for my podcast appearance out in my backyard in the hammock, swinging in the breeze with the sunset and getting into the zone. And then my son, who's at sleepaway camp right now for the first time, he's 11 years old. He has a once a week phone call home, and I knew it was going to be today, but I really didn't know when. And then, of course, he calls me during this like 20-minute window that I'm just mentally preparing. And I'm like, hi, bud. I'm so happy to hear from you. I don't have like tons of time, but I'm really,
right.
I'm really glad you called. But we balanced it, and I just didn't want him to feel like I, was running away or anything. So we made it happen.
Right. How does he like being away from home for the first time?
I think he's enjoying it. I think he's enjoying it. I really made it my mission to give him like all the tools that he would need to do that, because I went to sleepaway camp for many years as a kid, and it was a difficult experience. I definitely did not get a lot of prep. I was sent to sleepaway camp more as a way to like get me out of the way, and not with a lot of not really prepared for that. I went to sleepaway camp, I think, for the first time when I was maybe 9 years old, and I went away, which is kind of young, I think. I went away for 2 months every summer.
Oh my God.
which was a long time. And I did that for 5 summers, and then I ended up working there for a summer. So it was tough. It was like a lot of things in my life. The way I put it is I sort of had to white knuckle my way through that experience. And I wanted to give my son more tools to draw on. So I've been sharing things with him, and these are the kinds of things that I want to share with you guys. Kind of the type of work that I do, the things I like to do. I practice that on myself first and foremost, and I practice it on my family too. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat.
You're all good. You're gonna coach creativity to him too.
Yeah. We're gonna get into that. He's a creative kid, and really creativity starts with. I mean, he's, because of his age, he's lacking kind of the breadth of experience that I think we all need to be creative. Like, you have to first expose yourself to a lot of content. We talk about that too. The sort of balance between consumption and creativity. So he's very much in his like consuming phase. So he reads constantly, and I just get him massive stacks of books, and he blazes through them, and it's good because that's all consumption. And at a future point, it's going to turn into creativity. But it starts really with having the emotional tools and like the emotional language to be able to access some of that stuff. So that's what I'm giving him now. Ability to process difficult emotions, ability to self-regulate, all of these things, all the things that I did not get.
Yeah.
Or rather the things that I had to kind of learn the hard way, which to be fair, learning anything the hard way. I'm just chatting while people come in. You know what I mean? People are saying hi. You're saying hi. Learning things the hard way. I like to say that a lesson learned hard is learned best. you know, that doesn't mean that everything should be learned the hard way, but if it is learned the hard way, I think that's where it tends to come out in a particularly strong quality. So if I had to learn certain things the hard way, I see that as giving me an advantage to being able to teach other people from a place of really having had to do it myself. And then hopefully it won't be as hard for my family or anybody else that I would teach.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, I went to sleepaway camp. I only went for the 1 year, but then I worked there after.
Oh, fun. What did you do?
The first year I was the kitchen staff. That was an experience.
Yes.
I was cracking 4 eggs at a time. I would have 2 in each hand, like,
excellent.
Because we were cooking for like 300 plus kids.
Yeah.
And the chef loved me because I was a hard worker and I went quickly.
Sure.
And then I was a counselor after that. I worked 2 years after that for them.
Oh, you went to counselor. That's cool. I didn't go. I didn't go counselor route. Which so I mean that's a totally different skill set, right? That's dealing with kids and educating them. I want to say hi. There's so many people who are saying hi. I don't want to like neglect.
I know.
Anybody.
Go ahead and say hi. You're also getting a lot of comments about your cool guitars.
Oh yeah, my baby. So I have a spot. I have a third spot set up that's over there. That's going to be for my fretless, which is on order, and I'm super excited for it. And this is right now my my wall of music. One thing that I am trying to do is develop a better background for things like this. I especially if I start really having more face-to-face with people, I got to have like my corner of creativity. But this is part of it, man. This is my original. Yeah. I mean, neither of these guitars are fancy. Like neither of them cost a lot of money. Neither of them are fancy, but they're both really like special to me. This guitar, specifically the acoustic, that was the guitar that I first learned how to play guitar on when I was 15. That was my very first guitar. I'm 33 now, so it's, that's quite a ways away. And that was a time, I posted about this on LinkedIn not long ago. That was a time when, like I said in my post, literally at 15, like nothing could motivate me to get out of bed. Like nothing. I was at a very, very low point in my life, and school was off the table. Obligations were off the table. Family stuff, no way. Like nothing interested me. Nothing motivated me. I was in a very bad place. The only thing that gave me any motivation to do anything was to play guitar. Like, and that I would do constantly. That was like, I mean, there were literally days where I just spent, hours, 8, 9, 10 hours just practicing scales, just practicing guitar. I took it with me everywhere. I got a hard case for it. I was traveling a lot those days. I was moving around from school to school, sometimes internationally. So I had like a hard case for it. It got banged up. It's got some chips in it, but this was like, I've like bled on that guitar. You know what I mean? So it is special for me. Among all my travels, I've had to ditch a lot of stuff, just a lot of things that I have accumulated over the years, especially music equipment. I've had multiple guitars, basses, amplifiers, kind of come and go, things I had to sell. I had this beautiful acoustic Cort bass that I had to sell. But out of everything, this guitar I have never, ever gotten rid of. I've never been without it wherever I've been since I was 15, I had it with me. Literally. And so that I would never, ever get rid of it. It is special for me.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
No, that's beautiful. That's the guitar from the Hey There Delilah picture that you posted. That
actually isn't. I on
No.
that, and unfortunately that is a picture because that was I had that guitar where I was living at that time. During that busking session, for whatever reason I didn't bring my guitar to that. I don't remember why, but my buddy did. And so next to me playing at that street session, is my friend who is a guitarist. He might even be on here. Parrots. I don't know if Parrots is on here. I sent him an invite. I don't know, but he was drumming. Hold on a second, and give me 1 second. Sorry, my daughter is here.
It's like the Shelby special when Shelby's on the show.
I don't want the water from the sink.
So you can fill it up from the filter. You can get the step ladder from the closet. You can do it. I'm in a meeting right now. Okay, baby?
And how about the ice?
No ice right now. Okay.
Okay. Why is it not in the meeting?
Okay, I'll switch it to meeting. There we
I
go.
was in the back too.
I love you. See you later. So during that busking session, my drummer friend, that I think he ended up bringing that guitar. Anyway, so we're sitting there busking, and a guy comes out. A guy comes up and he says he's a photographer and he wants to take like semi-professional, at least compositionally professional shots of us. I think he might have been a tourist. I don't know. And I was like, sure, whatever. And then I traded information. And he sent me that. So it's a little glimpse. I really don't have one of my great sorrows in life is that I lost a tremendous amount of pictures from my teenage years, which happens. This was back, I don't know, whatever I had on Facebook when I was on Facebook like eons ago. And at some point I got rid of my Facebook account, but I like downloaded everything off of it. And those files, again, I was traveling a lot. I think they ended up on someone's computer, and then I lost touch with that person. And then they said they don't know what happened to it. So a lot of things, a lot of those memories just exist up here. There's a few pictures that I've managed to salvage, but things like that. So that is a pretty rare shot of me, as a teenager in general. So
that's crazy.
That's why I wanted to share it. Yeah, but it's good. I see it as sort of poetic. I see it as a way of me. I don't need a lot of visual reminders of that time. I think it's sort of poetic that those things have disappeared. A lot of versions of myself that existed then have disappeared, and I've gotten rid of I've purposely gotten rid of things from then. I've gotten rid of writings that I've done symbolically, burning things, whatever. I think it's good. I think it's healthy. Who am I going to say hi to? I want to say hi to everybody. Everyone who's saying hi.
I get it. I
say hi to you. I see it as
resonating so much. Like
that's what I want, man. I just want to, I'm like speaking to all of y'all. Yeah, man, like I'm an open book. I've got a lot to say. I could easily fill up an hour's worth of airtime just by myself. I can make your job very easy.
Right.
I won't, but I could.
I see. So where were you living at the time when
which time?
When that picture was taken?
That picture was taken in Jerusalem, in Israel. So I lived. I lived in Israel for close to 10 years. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, and I lived there until probably about age 13. I ended up going to Israel. I was in boarding school in Israel for like a year and a half between 13 and 15. It was like total immersion. I was in a fully Hebrew speaking school. I came out of it speaking fluent Hebrew, which was pretty cool. And literally just today I saw Kenneth, actually, he's in the chat. I saw him post something about learning a second language. And I was like, well, international boarding school, that'll teach you a second language real quick. And then I ended up going, one more minute. Just digest that for a second.
Lorena over here repping Atlanta.
Oh yeah, we have more Atlanta peeps.
Mm-hmm.
That it is. The Atlanta connection. The Atlanta connection is strong. I miss Atlanta, and I'll touch on it, but like the I mean, that's why I returned to the South. So I now live in Jacksonville, Florida. And for me, that was like, yes, I'm like back in the South. This is where I belong.
I got you.
But I was in boarding school for, well, I use the term boarding school loosely. I was like boarding at people's family, with families and stuff. It was sort of an informal situation. And then I would go on to, when I entered high school, I went into like a dorm situation. That was like the start of like a lot of struggle for me as a going into high school, that kind of age. And I ended up leaving. I ended up running away from school when I was 15 because I was like, I can't handle this anymore, whatever the experience was. I went back to the United States and I proceeded to kind of bounce around high schools, alternately getting expelled or being asked to leave kind of voluntarily. I ended up going through 4 high schools in 2 years, ninth and 10th grade.
Oh my God.
And then shortly before the end of 10th grade, I dropped out. And that was the end of, that was where formal education and I decided that we needed to see other people. So,
okay.
At that point, options were kind of running thin. I ended up going back to Israel. I had family there that I was visiting, and I ended up finding a religious school that was kind of for guys like me, kids like me who didn't have a ton of direction, and everywhere else that I had been, had a lot of rules, and I just like could not. I wasn't like I was, my mom. Who's a physician, she used to call me a free radical, which is like a type of particle, or I don't know if it's related to a cell or if it's a subatomic particle, but it's a type of particle that sort of zips around the body systems, not attached to anything. It's an electron, I think. It's an unattached electron, and it zips around the body, and it's either known or suspected to be the element that kind of causes things like cancer. It sort of disrupts, it's a system disruptor, and it doesn't fit, and it's not connected to anything. So she would say, that's what you are, Michael. You're a free radical. Like you're not connected to any of this stuff, and you're doing what calls to you naturally, and the system rejects that. So that's where I was. This new institution that I found was basically like, okay, we'll give you a bed in an apartment instead of like a dormitory situation. There were like apartments all around the neighborhood. We'll give you a bed in an apartment with guys your age. You can stay there rent free. If you come to like basically classes, then you'll get access to the cafeteria where we'll give you food. If you don't come to classes, then you won't get food, but that's kind of it. This is not like a grading situation. This was basically, think of it as like a men's seminary, like a religious school for learning, religion, and studying religious law. It wasn't transcript based or anything like that. And I was like, cool, sure. So I proceeded to spend the next 2 years between 17 and 19, never going to anything, just partying all the time. I lived in Jerusalem, like a few steps away from central Jerusalem, which has a ton of great bars and music, like music venues and things. I was doing that all the time. A bus ride away from Tel Aviv, which was of course a major party, and the beach and everything. So I just spent the next 2 years kind of doing whatever, living off of, nothing. And then I kind of got my head on straight after that got old. So by the time I was 19 or 20-ish, that fizzled out. So that's, I could go on. Again, how did I get from there to how did I get from there to Florida? I'll give you a really short version. I ended up getting my head on straight out there. I met my wife got married at, I was 21 when we got married. We had our first kid, moved back to the West, decided we wanted to move back to the West after we were married there a couple of years. My wife is Canadian. We moved out to Western Canada in Alberta near the Canadian Rockies and lived there for a few years. Then we moved to Ontario, lived there for a few years. Now we moved to Jacksonville. That is my story. That's the traveling part of the story.
So
that's a lot.
Canada first and then Florida.
Why
Canada? Why Canada?
Well, my wife is from Canada, and when we wanted to move back to the West, it was a lot easier for me to immigrate on short notice to Canada than it was for her to do the same to the U.S. So eventually, we were in Canada long enough that I naturalized as a citizen, and my wife now has a U.S. green card. So she we got that situation sorted out, and then she was able to move down here. And as soon as she was able to, that's what we were working towards for a while. Mm-hmm. I like Canada. I miss Canada. But I certainly enjoy living in Florida much more than I ever did there.
Yeah, a little too cold up there.
I had my fill of it. That was another experience. Everything is just an experience. That was, getting to walk around outside in negative 40 degrees where you can't have any exposed skin. Your eyes, the moisture from your eyeballs freezes into little bits of frost on your eyelashes. So every time you blink, it's like you're constantly blinking frost out of your eyes just because it's forming on your eyelashes as you're blinking. That was fun. So I used to work when I was in Canada. I worked in security, and I worked at security at the largest shopping mall in North America, a place called West Edmonton Mall in Edmonton, Alberta. It's a shopping mall, but it's about 800 times what you imagine a shopping mall to be. It's how many it's like a small town. It was something like 25 square city blocks worth of space. It had an indoor ice skating rink,
my God.
Indoor water park, roller coaster theme park, casino, a whole like nightlife strip with like clubs and bars and everything, a lagoon, like a lake in the middle of the mall with a pirate ship, movie theater, hundreds and hundreds of stores. It was cool. So I worked security for that for a little bit.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is it puts the Mall of America to shame. That's what I'm hearing.
It's bigger. It is bigger than the Mall of America. They are sister malls, but it is bigger. The West Edmonton Mall of America, and the American Dream Mall in New Jersey are all they're all related in terms of investors and ownership.
I didn't know that.
So that was cool. So getting to work security there, in the winter, part of your job was to go out in the parking lot and check the corners to make sure there were no homeless people who had frozen to death overnight. Mm-hmm. Because that would happen.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That was an intense experience, but that was also really good. Another in the list of weird jobs that I'd done that. When we moved out to Ontario, I started working in a winery out in like the Niagara region. That was cool. Making something called ice wine. Do you know what ice wine is?
I don't.
Ice wine is it's kind of a rare type of wine. Canada, I think, produces like 80 to 90% of the world's ice wine. You can only make it in regions that are warm enough to grow grapes, but also get cold enough to freeze in the winter, which is not a lot of places. Most places that grow grapes, like California, it never gets cold enough to freeze. So ice wine is when you take the grapes and you leave the grapes on the vine late into the season. And it frosts and the grapes freeze on the vine, and then very quickly while they're frozen, you harvest them and press them, and the freezing process does something to the the water content of the grape, where it like separates the water from the sugar in a more effectively. And so when you press it, you get this like really thick, like super sweet syrup. So you basically make like a liqueur straight out of the wine. It's very strong. It's very sweet, and it's expensive. And so I got to do that. Sorry, I apologize. I'm gonna have to interrupt myself for hopefully one last time.
No, you are all good. I'm gonna ask your question, Rob, as soon as Michael's back in here.
Sorry, I had a rush order for a good night hug that I simply had to fill. Okay, well let's get to some questions. Like I said, I also want to get a chance to talk about like my actual my passion right now. So
right.
Let's grab some questions. Let's grab some questions, and then I'll talk about my my offerings for a little bit.
So Rob asked if the party scene in Israel is legit.
Party scene in Israel is the party scene in Israel is super legit. It's basically like it hybridizes the European, like the European, I don't know why I said it like that, the Euro energy of the club scene, classic like European discotheque sort of atmosphere. EDM is massive. Metal is really big. I'm a big metal head. It combines that with like the Middle Eastern fire and sort of, I don't want to say like rowdiness, but like there's like this Middle Eastern like also energy. It's like these two very different types of energy that blend, and it's fun, man. Tel Aviv is a great place to go. Great place to go party, 100%.
Man, you make me want to go party there.
It's sick, and the beach, and like I'll add that Tel Aviv is from what I understand like the gay capital of the Middle East. I think I don't think that's a very long list of contenders, but it's super it's super inclusive, very, very friendly to everybody, and it's a lot of fun. Again, most of my time was spent in Jerusalem. I kind of know Jerusalem well. Tel Aviv was like it's like Tel Aviv was like going to like Atlantic City or something, where it's like you go to like go out of your mind and then you come back home. Jerusalem was my home place. So that had the like bars and open stages and stuff that I would jam at all the time, do open mics at all the time. That was kind of my scene.
Gotcha.
What else we got?
Awesome.
Yeah.
This one's not a question, but it's common. I want to read it anyway. Shelby said, "We all knew you were cool, but you're hella cool." Talking about you. She tagged you in that.
Amen. I I forget myself, because like going through this, it's like, dang, like, man, like I have too many stories, and like it's not, I can't just like talk about stories all the time.
It's almost like you need your own live or something.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun to get reminded. It's fun to get reminded.
Yeah.
Again, for me, it's about taking the experiences I had, because I can talk about them in this, rose-colored way where it seems super cool and it was so much fun. I remember feeling a lot of negative emotions through all of this. There were a lot of very painful things that I went through. And that is kind of an undercurrent. It's fun to talk about it. And I could talk about the fun stuff all day long.
Right.
But the fun stuff, we hold on to that stuff consciously, at least. And the not so fun stuff, we don't like to talk about that on podcast episodes. So it is a blend. It is a blend.
Yeah.
Someone keeps saying I look like a character from Hannah Montana.
Who just said you look like Mitchell Musso?
I don't know who that is. I apologize.
Yeah, he's from Hannah Montana. It's a good thing.
Do you agree? Or the positive association?
of see it, but just the fact that I saw the comment pop up while you're telling the story, I had to try to hold back my laughter because I was like,
I've seen it. I've seen it a couple times. The reason why I'm saying it is because I've seen the same comment like before, and then I saw it again. Like, no, I'm telling you, this guy looks like this guy looks like Oliver. I'm telling you. Why is nobody else freaking out about this?
It's Oliver. He's here.
Yeah.
Serena had asked if you move out of the country, if you're still a citizen. Yes,
I am a citizen of 3 countries, and I hold passports for all 3 countries. It is a common misconception that citizenship is something that you like lose by moving somewhere else, or that you're not allowed to have multiple citizenships, or you're not allowed to have multiple passports. None of that is true. You can have citizenship to any country that you are eligible for citizenship towards, which for most people is not a lot. And if you're a citizen of a country, you can hold a passport. There are very few cases where citizenship with one country conflicts with another. Usually it's in situations where like those 2 countries are at war or something like that. But that is not generally the case. Certainly not with me.
Yeah, that's a misconception I had. I didn't know that. I thought
that's the answer.
You could only be, you would have to apply for the dual citizenship or like do something special. I mean,
having dual citizenship just means you're a citizen of 2 countries. I mean, in my case, 3.
I didn't realize it wasn't something that like you
got it. I could potentially get 4 because my father, my late father, as anybody who's seen my stuff, my father passed away in February. He was Panamanian. He was born and raised in Panama City, and so maybe through him somehow I could access Panamanian citizenship. I don't need it, but I could have 4. I could have 4 passports maybe one day.
You should just go country hopping and collect passports from every single one.
That's all I got. I'm not eligible. I'm not eligible anywhere else. Not that I know of. Any other questions that are particularly awesome?
Let's see. Pooja also said that it was very 90-day fiance of you to move to Canada.
To do that?
Yeah.
We had been married.
She said.
To be fair, we had been married for 3 years at that point, so I felt pretty comfortable with the concept of moving to another country with this woman that we had been married for 3 years and had a child together at that point. So, I think I was.
Wasn't it just for the green card?
Well, maybe she would. That would be a long con if she was just.
That'd be a very long con.
By the time she got her green card, we were 11 years, over 10 years deep, 10 and a half years, and 4 kids in. So, she's got
that would be the ultimate long con.
That would be the long con.
Scott, he's over in the UK. He said the Canadians and us Brits are in the finals for the World Apologizing Championships. As someone that lived in Canada, would you agree?
The World Apologizing Championships. Yeah. Canada and the UK. Yes, but the UK does it because actually the school that I went to in Israel really was mainly populated. It was an English speaking institution, but it was mainly populated with guys from Britain or adjacent. So there were a lot of Australians, a lot of South Africans. Americans were like the minority. So I actually got to spend a lot of time. I mean, I spent years there with roommates from Great Britain and other places. So they do it, but when they apologize, they do it in a way that that they hate you and they don't want to be apologizing to you, and you're the problem and you're awful. Canadians do it like sincerely, which is like so pathetic. The UK, the UK injects it. The Brits are able to inject humor into their apologies, whereas Canadians don't. Canadians just come across as like so like just like milk toast about it, you know. They apologize, and they always do it in the same way, right? If they're in a grocery store, anybody from like Minnesota or the upper Midwest will know this too. If let's say you're standing in the grocery store in the aisle, you're picking something off the shelf and they want to get past you. So there's always a specific way they'll do it. And they'll say, "Oh, well, I'm just gonna sneak by you here. Let me just squeeze by you here." And it's the same way every time. I'm just gonna sneak by you here. So my wife and I do that now. You know, it's like the whole country's agreed to use this specific phrasing for this specific situation.
Yeah, it's leaked down to my area, Michigan. I'm not immune to the all the time.
I was doing a let's play. I was recording footage for a let's play today, and I threw in an "oh yeah" or "oh eh," and in my because I picked that up. I mean, I lived in Canada for 8 years, so I was like, "oh eh," and I was like, "oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said that." Like, I sound so Canadian. Oh man, it's got me.
I don't even know if we'll even have time to talk about your let's play. There's so many layers to
you. We will.
Michael.
I've got so many things, dude.
About.
I know. I've got so many things. I will say, I'll just plug it. If anybody, okay, my style of let's play is I like very story driven, immersive games that are not super heavily skill based. There is some skill, but really I love the games that really are telling a story. They're very cinematic. The game I'm playing, the game I'm like in love with right now is very much like that. And my commentary style it's called Banishers. Banishers Ghosts of New Eden. It's awesome. I would read it. I would read it if it were a novel. It's very very well done. And my commentary style is very, very low key. Just like I'm talking right now, not super energetic, not flashy. It's perfect. I always say in any light promo stuff I do for it, I always say it's perfect for falling asleep to or doing the dishes. Like you don't have to watch it. You just have to just listen. And I do hour-long episodes because if I turn on a video, I want to know that I don't have to find something else to listen to in 15 or 20 minutes. I want to know that this is like, I have an hour's worth of content that I can just put on and listen to. So that's awesome. My plug. That's my plug at the Abra Adventures on YouTube. Abra Adventures.
Hell yeah. Ambreen did ask.
What's up?
Two questions. Ambreen asked, would you get citizenship if your mother was I'm gonna butcher the word.
Panamanian?
Panamanian.
The Panamanians?
Or does it only work if it's the father?
I don't know. I don't know the laws.
That's fair.
Couldn't tell you. My mom is from Cleveland. So Cleveland
so
and
she,
raised in
probably wouldn't know either, huh?
Probably not. No, my mom was born in Cleveland, raised in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Nice and Midwestern. And she went to medical school in Michigan in Ann Arbor.
Gotcha. And Renee asks how many languages you speak.
2. I speak 2 languages. My father's first language is Spanish, but I did not grow up with my father, so I did not end up speaking Spanish. I took some lessons years and years ago. In high school, I had a class in Spanish. I do not speak Spanish, certainly, but I obviously speak English, and I am fluent in Hebrew.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And then Rob asked about the Let's Play, if it's on Twitch. It's on YouTube, right?
It's just on YouTube. I actually started. I started my I guess that type of content creation on Twitch, and I kind of quickly realized that I just didn't have the optimal setup for Twitch because of my family and just because of my life. It's very hard for me to schedule like super regular sessions to say like I'm appearing at this time, this day of the week, every week, something like that.
Yeah. It's
very, very hard for me. I need the flexibility. And especially like you've seen now, like whenever I do anything live, like somebody needs my attention, somebody needs something. And so for a live, so I found myself just getting frustrated and I felt like I was working against myself in terms of building an audience, building a community. So I decided to to switch to YouTube, because I can record on my own time, and I can, record, and then I can edit later, post later, schedule things. If I have to interrupt myself in the middle of it, then I can edit that out, and it just works much more smoothly. I'm much happier with it, and I'm going to use this as a segue to talk about what I'm doing now. The reason why I started doing the Let's Plays is because I've been a gamer, so to speak, like my whole life, like my teenage, my childhood. I didn't do homework. I played video games. And I didn't play video games for many years. And as an adult, I wanted to start playing again. But obviously as an adult, like there's so much going on, so many responsibilities. And I found that I just couldn't get myself to make the time for something that was, in my mind, like purely consumptive, just sitting and playing a game and not sharing that experience with anybody. The experience comes and it goes, and it just feels like it feels just like a I don't want to say waste of time, but it doesn't feel maximized in terms of like how satisfying it was to me. That changed when I decided to turn that time into something creative. So now, instead of me just sitting and playing a video game, I'm recording, I'm giving commentary, I'm creating a video out of it, I'm creating content out of it that I can then post and is saved. And for me, that the fact that it becomes a creative process makes all the difference. And it's like such a part of my life that I love doing now, because it ignites my creativity. As I'm playing, I'm forcing myself to slow down, to notice what's going on, to comment on what's going on, both in terms of the game's story, the structure, the visuals, everything, the artistry. I talk a lot about that stuff. I talk about the narrative. I talk about what the concept art for the game must have looked like. That's the kind of stuff that really interests me. So I've turned it into a creative pursuit.
No, that's awesome. And I feel similar, because before I started doing like anything on LinkedIn, like all I was doing was watching TV, playing video games, scrolling on my phone, and like I felt unfulfilled doing that. And like I do feel like some fulfillment out of like what I do here. And part of that is the fact that I do get to share with others.
You get to capture it and share it, and it engages you on a level where, again, you talked about, how do I translate some of this stuff to my kids? I tell this all the time, that there's a difference between consuming and creating. And it's something that, seems obvious when you say it, but the world as a whole is built. I don't say the world, I say society as a whole encourages us to consume much, much, much more than it does to create. Creating really means going against the grain and doing that in limiting the consumption. It's much easier to consume. Creating takes effort. And sometimes there are obstacles to it. And when you hit those obstacles, it's easier to just say, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to go back to consuming something. It's easier. I don't have to spend any effort on it.
Yeah. No. Go ahead.
So yeah, I'll say it. I don't know if you wanted to like prompt me into this, but my real passion right now is talking about creativity and helping other people see, first and foremost, that this is really the headline here, that creativity, we're very used to thinking about creativity as a static element, a fixed variable, sort of a binary process, or a binary variable where that some people have it or some people don't, or that it's like a spectrum, and you fall somewhere on the creativity spectrum. And that's where you live, and that's where you are. And you have some people who are like, wow, super creative. And we think of some people as those people are super creative, and other people, or ourselves, we think of as like, I'm this creative or I'm not creative. And I challenge that with everything that I have. I believe very deeply that creativity is something that it's a skill like any other. And it's a skill that can be practiced and can be honed and can be developed. We have to get ourselves to think of creativity like that. And then of course we need a way to actually do that, right? Like with music, right? Here we go. It's not enough to just say, I'm going to practice guitar. I'm going to practice music. You have to have a regimen. You have to have a program that you're following. So my goal is to bring to life a program that I can offer to you all, to anybody, on how to practice creativity, how to develop creativity as a skill. And it's like other skills in the sense that it can be practiced. It's not like other skills in the sense that to practice it means to develop yourself as a person on a deeper emotional level than most people really are that interested in touching. For those who really want a deeper sense of creativity and authentic creativity, I feel that it's necessary to get in touch emotionally and come up against some real emotional obstacles. I have found that probably the greatest in terms of size, the greatest obstacle to accomplishing that is fear. Fear of self, fear of what we find when we kind of go that deep, fear of certainly of expressing those things to others. There's self-judgment, self-editing, all of that. So to that end, my program is called The Fearless Creative, and it's about walking people through the process of approaching those fears, going through those fears, and finding their authentic creativity on the other side of that.
When they come to you, do you also help them find like how they express that creativity? Do they kind of already come like with a plan of how they want to use this?
Not necessarily. Some people might be already like working as professional creatives, and they're a little bit more fluent in this language. They sort of swam in those waters before, and for those people, they'll have an understanding of it, but they might not have connected their ability to be creative to their own emotional work, or they might have maybe hit a roadblock with their work that they need guidance to get through. So that's where I would help. Other people, maybe the whole concept is a little bit foreign. Maybe they have a job that's much more left-brained, and not everything requires some degree of creativity, but not everybody is a working creative professional. So for those people, they might be interested to develop that skill from a lower, a less fluent starting place. And there's a lot of reasons why somebody would want to, I believe. Somebody can feel that they have within them a deep idea. Sometimes it's possible to feel that I have a creative idea, a creative drive inside me, but I just don't know how to express it. I can almost see the outline of it, but I can't really make out the details. Right? It's kind of like I've used different terminology to describe it. It's like something that's kind of hiding behind the veil, and you can very vaguely make it out, but you can't make out the details. Or something that's just lurking just beneath lurking is kind of a bad word, but something that rests just beneath the surface of the water, but the water is kind of murky and you can't make it out. So there is that sort of internal drive to develop my creativity because I feel that I have something to say. I also believe very firmly that this work is only going to be more and more applicable going into the future. And this is I think this will speak, I think, to those who are not actively pursuing a creative outlet, but maybe they should be considering it more. I see creativity as, well, I see the whole concept of being creative as divided roughly into two parts, at least for our purposes. There's the idea generation, and then there's the idea execution. There's the generation, there's a core concept, and then there's the execution of it. So for example, the core concept, let's say I'm a visual artist. The core concept is I can imagine something that I want to draw. The execution is my technical ability to execute that idea, to bring it to life, right? If you're a visual artist, that means drawing it. If you're a musician, that means physically being able to play it. If you're a photographer, it means being able to manipulate your camera and your settings and your lighting and everything else in order to bring to life the image, right? Same thing with cinematography, anything like that.
Yeah.
Execution has always been a high barrier to expressing creative idea, because I could imagine, I could imagine an incredible scene, but if I don't have technical drawing ability, I can't make that happen. I could hear beautiful music in my head, but if I don't know how to play an instrument, it can't happen. And very often the people who feel those ideas, they learn how to execute them to give themselves the tools. That's what I did with music, right? I have very little visual drawing skills. And that takes time, and it takes effort, and it takes a lot of energy. Going into the future, it's really my belief that the barrier of ability to execute will be dropping lower and lower and lower and lower, to the point where any idea that I would generate, I will have tools at my disposal to execute that idea in virtually any medium that I want. Whether it's visual, whether it's music, whether it's a short film, I could without trying too hard imagine a future where anybody can use tools to produce a visually incredible 15-minute short film on anything, on no budget, and execute it just the way that they want. So, I'm not here to talk about the morality of that or the ethics of that. None of that, that's all far above my pay grade. But the fact is that these tools exist, and the execution barrier will be lower and lower. As it drops, more and more and more ideas will be executed and will be out there for consumption. So as that barrier drops, what will become valuable to me and valuable to the world is the idea, the core idea, not the execution. The execution will be a given. It'll be a given that anything that gets produced will be executed at a very high level, because that's what the tools can do, right? It's like, like we expect our clothing, right? Any clothing that I'm wearing, because it's all made by machines, I expect it to be perfect. Like, why would it be anything else? It's not impressive that this shirt has a thread count of whatever. It was made, of course it does. That's the expectation. Yeah. So the value becomes, what is the idea that's being expressed? What's the creative seed that's being expressed here? I liken it a lot to the how the video game industry has changed, right? Where it used to be, 20 plus years ago, as a new game was being marketed, a big part of its marketing would be talking about its graphical output, right? How realistic it was, how lifelike it was. And everything, and that was huge. And I remember there was a first-person shooter game, like a totally forgettable first-person shooter game released somewhere in like the mid 2000s. And I remember part of the marketing was that the developers had created this game where there currently did not exist a commercial PC on the market that could play this game on its highest graphics settings, and that was like a big deal. And it's like totally not a big deal anymore. Every game by any AAA studio looks they basically looks photorealistic. Now, mocap is kind of like a huge thing, which I really, really love. Getting real legitimate human actors to, and being able to capture nuance and emotion on their face and translating that into a game. It's beautiful. You're basically playing a movie at that point. Yeah. And at the same time, the indie game community has exploded, And those games are working with, hardly any, very, often low budget, relatively, and graphical output is minimal. But the idea of the game, the creativity of the game is what captures people. And that's what has captured people. And that is what will become valuable. So my service is giving people the tools to generate those very, very deep, creative, authentic ideas that will then, those are the things that are going to carry value going forward. I don't want to say more than technical ability, but at least as much as technical ability to be able to draw those up and then execute those in whatever fashion you see fit.
So when people come to you and they need to like unlock that creative ability, how do you help tap into those emotions? Is it just like talking to them and getting to know them and helping walk through them, or how do you set that up? It's
a program that involves a combination of exercises, dialogue, and somewhat deep sort of meditation work that is all about approaching those barriers and looking at things from a new perspective. So it is very guided. It is the kind of work that it's not something that somebody could just easily just do on their own. It does help to have a guide there, and the idea is that it's an easy to follow program that everybody should be able to get hopefully a substantial amount of clarity on, and come away with it with real tools that they can use to overcome creative blocks, or to just discover what it feels like to swim in creativity fearlessly again for the first time. And for a lot of people, I think that especially the fearless component, I think for a lot of people, they would find that kind of work, I want to say life-changing. It's definitely been life-changing for me. I've done a lot of it before. I've done a lot of that kind of stuff. I've had to, right? Back to you bring it full circle. And I don't want this to be a lesson learned hard. I want it to be fun. I want it to be exciting. I want it to be relaxing. But it will challenge people to take a look at themselves and what's inside of them, because really the most valuable ideas are the ones that really lie deepest inside of us, and those are the ideas that are authentic to a very deep degree. And that's just, authenticity is not something that it's not something that society at large is ever going to encourage anyone to be. So if you can break through those barriers and you can become authentic and you can become a fearless creative, you will be swimming upstream and stand out, I believe, from the rest. And not that I profess to stand out, but that is how I present myself online. If anybody ever sees any of my content, it's a combination of irreverent and silly and meaningful, but it's all comes from a place of authenticity for me, and I hope that for some people that rings as having a special quality to it.
I mean, I'll say it. Your content is above quality. It's really, really good. I freaking love it.
I appreciate that.
So you don't have to boast about it. I'll boast for you.
I certainly would never boast about it. And when it really comes from authenticity, the brilliant thing about it is that it doesn't matter. It really starts to not matter if other people acknowledge it so much or like it. I mean, obviously we want to share. That's where it's like, I want people to see what I'm writing because I want to share it. That's really what the drive, but it feels so good to be authentic. It feels better. It feels better to be authentic than it does to get attention for something that's inauthentic. And we all love getting attention. We love getting attention. Imagine how good that feels. Now imagine something that feels even better. That's what true authentic creativity is about. That's what I try to bring into my life. That's what I want to help others bring into their life.
Oh, I love this conversation so
It feels
much.
good, right? Doesn't it just feel
You're
good?
so amazing, Michael.
I really am excited to put this program together. And the more interest that I see in it, the faster it'll happen for sure. If there's anybody who's listening who that this resonates with at all, like absolutely DM me. You can email me. My email is somewhere on my profile page. Like I'll put you on a list. You'll be the first person to know about it, along with anybody with everybody else who shows interest. And I really do want to share it.
Oh, perfect.
Including you, Cassidy.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll see, because I feel in a certain capacity, because I do have that drive to be creative. I didn't want to go over an hour, but we're about to go over an hour. It's okay. You feel that drive, but a lot of it does come from that self-judgment. It's like, if I put this on paper, if I create this into something real, then I'm acknowledging that is real. And that stops me all the time. And I'm like, well, do I even want to break through that? Am I fine?
It hurts. It hurts so good. It hurts so good. Yep. I know it, man. I know it. I feel it. I've been there. And all I can tell you is that on the other side of that, that I've been privileged to touch now and again, and not that I'm always there. It really is unparalleled in terms of, you start to see that, like, this is what it means to live a life worth living, to be in touch with yourself in that way, and to be fearless in that way. And it is sweet as honey, even sweeter. And the pain, it becomes fun. It becomes fun to, like, bear yourself like that,
Yeah. I do think about how much it does hold me back. The fact that I don't tap into that, but
it's there.
We packed away.
You can be fearless.
Do we want to pull out the bins? Do we want to empty them?
You can be a fearless creative. Anybody can be a fearless creative. Anyone can. What is it? Anyone can cook.
Anyone can cook.
100%.
Anyone can be a fearless creative.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I think you might have inspired me once this program is creative.
Sure.
I didn't go into this thinking I needed to be more creative, but just hearing you talk about it, I'm like, damn.
It's an offering. It's an offering for everyone to. It's simply an offering for everyone to decide if they would like to accept or not. It's not saying that anyone needs to. There's so many people out there that I can learn from, that I'm looking for offerings, from them. And this is a wise man once said that what does it mean to be wise? It means to be the kind of person that can learn from everybody. Everybody has something to teach. So maybe this is what I have to teach.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Before we dive into something else, because we both know that we will talk for hours on end.
Yeah, I could talk for another hour easy.
No. What are your closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts is that I'm really grateful. I'm grateful for this opportunity. I'm grateful for the audience. I'm so sorry that I didn't get more of a chance to, like, speak one-on-one with them. That's definitely something I would love to do in the future. See, depending on how things go, maybe there's room for me to get a chance to host my own program and speak to people directly about their creative process, what creativity means to them. I would love to do that. And beyond that, I'm grateful for the experiences in my life that have led me to where I am now. And again, I just want to take the fruits of those labors and share it with y'all. And I'm grateful to you, Cassidy, for putting on this program and building this community, allowing me to tap into that. It's a huge privilege. And just gratitude is the closing thought in all of its greatness and glory.
You speak so eloquently. Like, I can cry. There's no way that my closing thoughts can even measure up to that. What the? You go second. What the?
That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like when you don't self-edit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are also eloquent.
Okay.
We're all eloquent.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. I've been very
welcome.
excited to have you on.
Thank you.
And I can tell the audience very much enjoyed hearing from you too.
Good. I want to
even
go back
with
and
the
read the
feedback
comments. I haven't
before.
gotten to read them.
They're good. You should go back.
I will.
But yeah, thank you for coming on. Thank you to the audience for tuning in and
Thank you,
for
guys.
all of the comments that were left. Thank you, Pooja, specifically for all of the great laughs. And I hope you all have a great evening. The next Podcassidy, it'll be on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. All right. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.